Can you see me?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late, but you are most welcome. This is the Women of Purpose Facebook group, and this is our purpose session. You're welcome. If you're online, please let us know. I would like to see if people are online this evening, this morning, this afternoon. If you're joining, let's know where you're joining from. We're going to have an awesome time today. So let's know if you're online. Oh, I can see someone is here already. Let's know where you're joining from. You can share a smiley face. Just share an emoji so we know you're here. Let's know who is online. We're starting a little bit late, but we are here. Let's see who's with us today. Let's see. Oh, good morning. I'm Dr. Adelawa is here. You are welcome and good morning. Yes, I know it's like 6 a.m. there or 5 a.m. in New Zealand. You are most welcome. Okay, today we're having another person is here as well. You are most welcome. Thank you for everyone joining us. This is the purpose session that we have on Thursdays, and we always have somebody share with us. Today we're having an awesome woman of purpose sharing with us. Her name is Mrs. Taiwo Awokoya. So we're going to be having her, I'm going to be bringing her up so that she can share with us. Let's see. We're going to welcome her. There we are. You are most welcome. I have a sister with me today. Oh, it's so good to see you. So this is the purpose session, and today we're talking about understanding your identity. She is this is her one of her areas of specialty, so she's going to be sharing with us. And before we go into it, I want to just read her bio. I met her. It's funny how we met. We met on the boot camp, on Dr. Sam Ekudayo's boot camp. Oh, hi, Joni. Joni shared with us last week. She shared you are so welcome. It's good to see you. So we met on Dr. Sam Ekudayo's boot camp, and we all just met and we just connected. So she's a sister of mine. So let me read her bio quickly, and then she would be introducing herself as well. Okay, so her bio says Taiwo Awokoya is a Christian counselor, certified coach, and HR trainer. She holds a BSc degree in economics. Actually, we have something in common. I also did economics. She holds a BSc degree in economics and education and a master's degree in business, finance, and management from the University of Liverpool, United Kingdom, UK. Her vision is to raise inspired, empowered, and transformational individuals who would positively influence, impact, and transform their family, communities, and world at large. She pastors with her husband at Higher Life Assembly, a spirit-filled world church that is located in Maryland, Ikeja, Lagos. She is the CEO and founder of Quantum Heights Consulting, a human capital solutions and business development consulting, from which offers corporate training development, recruitment and talent outsourcing, and business strategy and advisory to financial and non-financial sectors, public and private sectors, SMEs, and other corporate organizations. Taiwo is the president of Transform Your Life Initiatives, a non-profit initiative with a focus to inspire, build, empower, and transform women, youth, and teen girls and boys. Wow. She is also a live transformational speaker and has delivered inspiring keynote speeches in conferences and seminars. She demonstrates a strong leadership, interpersonal communication, strong interrelational strategic thinking, innovative styles of approach on participants, which has made her a much sought after speaker, trainer, facilitator, coach, and consultant. She is happily married and blessed with two lovely children. Woohoo! We welcome you. Let's give her a welcome. You are most welcome.
Thank
So we would
you.
love you to just introduce yourself in like 30 seconds, your introduction.
Okay. Thank you very, very, very much, Mrs. Olugbemisola Olabode. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored and privileged to be able to stand here, or rather sit here, because I'm actually sitting, and to share my thoughts with some women of purpose. I don't take this for granted. And immediately when you told me to do this, when you asked me, I couldn't say no, because this is something that I'm passionate about. Identity is something that I want to share out to the world because I know right now we're in a hurting world. The world is actually
Mm.
hurting. There's so much going all around the world, so much pain everywhere, suicide, racism, and so many evil things going out there. Sometimes you're wondering, is the world coming to an end? But even
Mm-hmm.
if it's coming to an end, what is going on? So many here and there stories that you hear every day. And I sat down one day and I realized that because I was meditating and I realized that if only everyone know who they are, because there was an
Mm.
original plan that God had for man, an
Yep.
original plan that God had for women, both man and women. God had an
Mm-hmm.
original plan for us. And so if we don't go back to the foundation, if we don't go back to the original manual, original plan that God had for man, these stories will keep coming. These
Yeah.
evil things will keep happening every time. And so when I took out time to meditate and to think back, I realized that the first step, most people are jumping, and that's why you find most youth today, most young people, and even middle-aged people jumping, like you are
Mm.
jumping from, it's just like you maybe a child, a toddler, that maybe, okay, you have a baby and then the baby becomes a toddler, and from toddler, the toddler was
Mm.
just jumped to high school without passing through
Mm.
the process. So there's a process in growth, and that
Mm.
process is when you know who you are, because you
Yeah.
cannot actually give what you don't have. And so if I take a preschooler and just put her, and let look, I put a 5 year
Mm.
old girl in in a high school of grade 6. Even though she's actually there, yes, she's going to attend this class, but she can't be promoted. She won't have so much knowledge and so much understanding about what she can do, what the potential that she has. She won't have an understanding of it. And so this is what is going on in the world today. Most people don't understand who they
Mm.
are. And if you don't understand who you are, you will just misbehave. You'll be living in another world, so to say.
Yep.
And so that's why I am passionate about this, to share to everybody that if it's the first step is understanding who you are. And this is what I'll be sharing today. So Miss Olu James has actually introduced me. So I'll just give a brief and we just go on from there. So Ma, can you see my slide now?
Yes, I can. There
Okay.
we are.
All right, thank you. So I'll just you've done most of the, but I just wanted to emphasize that on the assignment, because every one of us, we have a
Oh,
purpose, and we have
sorry.
our assignment. And our assignment here is my own assignment is to help people, that's men and women, discover their true identity. Then I went further again to help them reinvent it, because many times I realized in the journey that when we discover who we are, we are so excited. Yeah, I know who I am now. But when the true reality or the
Mm.
challenges comes and so many things keeps eating us there and there, we
Mm.
just forget everything. And that's because we've not reinvented it into our lives. We only
Mm.
know who we are, but we've not started living it. So when we reinvent it, we start to live it. It now comes from the inside out and not from the
Wow.
outside in. And so when you reinvent it, you already know that this is me. It's just like someone comes to tell me that, Taiwo, you're a boy. I'm saying, I'm going to tell you that no, I'm not a boy. I'm a girl. So that's because it
Mm-hmm.
has entered my heart that I'm a woman. I'm a woman. So no matter how much you tell me that, oh, you are a man, I won't even
Mm.
believe you. And so this is a process that I talked about again. That okay, so I help them also to reinvent this identity brand, so that you are not bothered about what the world says now, but you are
Yep.
bothered about who you are. And of course, is in when you understand your identity, you discover it, and then you reinvent it, you start to live it. That is when you can now start helping others. That's when, because your purpose is actually for people to help others. Your purpose is not only for you. You are given the assignment. God gave you the assignment so that you can use it to help the world. It's not for you. God gave it to you to use it. And if you don't work on yourself and know who you are, what you can do, your potential, you cannot give it out. And so that's why I
Mm.
said, okay, I also help people to kickstart their purpose assignments. So let me just go straight to the point. I just want us to have a very open heart tonight. It's actually is 7:15 here. So I know it's probably in the morning or afternoon time. So please just bear with me if I use the word tonight. But so I just anywhere you are right now, I just want us to open our heart and just receive what God has to say to us today. I said the greatest problem in the world today is not money. And the reason why I said it's not money is because I've seen so many rich people today. They have so many, they are rich, they have so much dollars in their account, but yet they still commit suicide. And that bothers me. That why? You have so much money. What else again? You committed suicide, you heard stories, and I knew that there was a gap. The greatest problem is not even AIDS, because I've seen people who have AIDS and they die and they have nothing. They don't bother they're not bothered about whether they have AIDS. Because they have nothing. There's nothing they are holding on to. They're not carrying anything, no potential, and so they're not bothered about whether let me sleep around, let me live a careless life. And so I said the greatest problem is not even coronavirus. And the reason why I said that today is because right now the world is running after, we have the health workers doing their best, trying to get a vaccine for the coronavirus. And in it, look, let me just use this scenario that in my part of the world, there was a storyline or a news that said some people, they had a research and some particular people said, we are not even bothered about coronavirus right now. What we are bothered is food. Let me just eat. So that to tell you that some people are not even bothered that, let me just give me, I want to eat. I rather prefer, someone particular said, I rather prefer I die of hunger than to die of coronavirus.
Wow.
So I thought about it, really. So that means that to some people, this season, this COVID-19 is nothing to them. They just still want to die. What they're after right now is survival. Let me just eat. So I also said the greatest problem in the world today is not even cancer. I've seen people that have cancer and they still lived a fulfilled life. During the process of the cancer, during the process of the pain, they were still able to live a fulfilled life. And even in their death, their names are still being spoken right now because they were able to find something. They were able to fill that gap. And so whatever they were going through at that particular time didn't bother them because they knew that what they came for was to fulfill something, was to fulfill an assignment. But I wrote it that the greatest problem is the lack of self-identity. The moment you don't know who you are, you have missed it. The moment you don't know who you are, you can never be fulfilled. You can have all the whole money, you can have all the everything in this world, you can be the most famous person. If you don't know who you are, you would always return back to zero. And just like Miles Moron said, he said the greatest discovery in life today is a discovery of oneself. So until we know who we are, we will never live a full and fulfilled life. And this is what is going on in our world today. We have so many unfulfilled beings, so many of them living. They're not there. You probably see them, so many women, because this is a women platform. And I think it's high time we really talk to ourselves. Many times we just use makeup, we cover ourselves in makeup, but deep inside there's a
things
gap.
are going on.
Deep inside, so many things, and you're wondering what is going on. Sometimes you find yourself in a particular industry. Maybe you are into clothing. The next minute you are saying, "No, I'm tired. I'm going into something else." Or maybe you find your friend doing a particular thing, and you say, "Oh, she did it, and she was successful in it. Why don't I do it?" Or maybe your parents have told you that we want you to be a doctor and you find yourself in that profession, but that's not actually who you are. That's not what God has called you to do or to be or to do. That's not your calling. That's not who you are. It doesn't fit. You are fitting into the world. You're not fitting into who you are, who God has created you to be. And so at the end of the day, you realize that at the age of 60 or at the age of 65, you are trying to look back. And you are asking yourself, where have I missed it? You have missed it in the day you missed it because you did not discover who you are. And so my mom was telling us, they said, know yourself. That's the first thing. Know yourself. Know yourself. And so before I go further, I just wanted to share my story because that was what led into my passion and my assignment, because it started from me. Our story is our life. Our story is to help people out there. And so my story goes like this. I'm a twin. My name is Taiwo, and Taiwo, in our culture, Taiwo, when you hear anybody that is Taiwo, Taiwo means a twin. And I have a twin brother, and his name is Kende. So Taiwo in my culture means um, Taiwo, that she came out to the world. And I told my twin brother, now it might be like an adage or something. Kende means I told him that, okay, while we're in the womb, my
I
mom's
came
womb,
last.
I told him, I said, you know what, I'm the first person to come out, but I'm going to go and check the world. And if the world is interesting, then I'll tell you to join me, okay? So that's when I came out and I told, okay, the world is not bad. Come on, join me. And he came out, and that's why they named him Kendi. And so the story goes like this. Of course, for twins, my parents had to buy everything for us. The same thing, the same shoe. Even though we was a boy, I was a girl, but most of the things were when because we're not identical. He was the opposite sex, but most of the things were always equal because everything my mommy wanted, everything she did was double. When she wanted to buy our school shoes, she would buy for me and she would buy for him. Our school bags, she always did it at the same time. And so, of course, I
Wow.
grew up with that mindset that, okay, whatever I had is what he would also have. But it started, the whole story changed when we got to the school. That's when we got to the grade one or grade two. Sorry, to the sorry, high school. That's I think grade seven, grade eight. Yeah, I realized that he was very smart, and he would come back home with a very good result, excellent result. But
Mm.
I was on the average, I was an average student, and so I was not. I would come up, I would come back home with poor results, and I just couldn't understand what was going on. Those days, parents at that time were not too bothered. They were just more bothered about, let's see what do you have, like, whatever. I mean, why don't you have? I mean, you are equal. What I mean, you have the same. You are in the same class. You have the same teachers.
Mm.
So what is wrong with you? I mean, so that was what I kept hearing every time, and so I would go back and think and wonder what is
Mm.
going on, what was it doing that I was not doing, and so it became a seed. It started growing, and
Mm.
the seed, like I was going to say this, our life is like a seed. Life is like a seed. Whatever the
Mm.
way you
Mm.
nurture your seed is what becomes. If I plant a seed, and the seed becomes a tree. Whatever I do, the way I nurture it, water it, put fertilize it, and it grows and it
Mm.
blooms. That means that I've worked on it. But if I just left it there, it's going to wither away. I might probably forget about it. So our life is like a seed, and so it's very
Mm.
important how whatever seed we put in our heart is very important. And so for then, I was nurturing a false identity about myself because I was wondering
Mm.
that why was it different for me? I had nobody to explain that to me. And I started having a little bit of hatred. I would see him as that. I started comparing him, and that was when sibling comparisons started coming in. I would compare
Mm.
him. Why? What was he doing? I started, so when he comes to meet me, I don't want to talk to. I just don't want to see him around me. I was fearful. I started because I became so insecure about myself. I felt I was nothing. I felt I was unworthy. And so it went on. So when we got to the college, when we got to college, I remember I took that. Can you remember from that teenage age? I took that
Wow. Wow.
into my college days, and I would just stay. I became very moody. I was always moody. I felt I wasn't good enough, so I would stay indoor. And so I had a friend that came to meet me. I said, Taiwo, even if you would not do anything, at least come and join the fellowship. So I said, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I went with her to the fellowship, and I sat down, but there was still no different. There was still something missing. My life then was like an iceberg. You could only see the
Mm.
tip, but what was going on beneath was so much. My heart was heavy. I was always moody. I was always sad. I would sit down alone and start crying. Sometimes I can't even understand why I'm crying. But I just felt that I didn't have a good teenage life. I felt everything was
Wow.
not working.
Wow.
The college I wanted to go to was not the college I wanted. My twin brother had the best one. He went to the best, the school he
Mm.
actually chose was what he got. What I chose, I didn't get it. So it was a
Mm.
horror for me. And when I knew that I'd gotten to the peak was, so I said, okay, I was going to go to her to the fellowship, and it was a drama unit. And so the fellowship leader realized that, Tao, you're always separating yourself. You're always sitting down, doing nothing. There's something I can see that you're not happy. So I just said, no, 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 I'm fine. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't, because I was not just ready. I just felt nobody understood me. So
Mm-hmm.
I came, she invited, so after the drama program, she would call anybody to round up, maybe it was a drama, and then she would call anybody to just round up the drama, like just tell people a summary. And I remember I went, was it about 4 to 5 thousand um, students. All it was a long hall, and I remember standing in
Wow.
front of that hall. She said, "Just go, go, you can do it." And I just went
Mm.
and stood, and that was just it. I lost it. My brain shut down. The moment
Mm.
I looked in the crowd, I looked at the crowd. All the memories just came.
Came
That
back.
yeah, that
Mm.
what you have to say. Who are you? I mean, what can you do? I mean, so many just there running through my mind, and I was there for the next 5 minutes. I couldn't say anything, and I could only hear whispers, and so I just knew the drama leader came and just pulled me away, and I think that even grew worse. I grew worse after
Oh.
that. I stopped attending fellowship. I just wanted to be alone, and it went further again into the marriage. I got married. My husband didn't understand what was going on with me. When we go out on to parties, I'll tell him, I don't know, I just let's just sit in the corner. He said, no, why? We have to sit. Let's sit where people can see us. I said, no, let's just stay. I was extremely shy. Uh, my self-esteem was tattered.
Mm.
My self, everything about me was just, and it went on and on and on. And I remember one day I knew that there was something. I knew there was a gap. I knew there was something missing, but I didn't know who to talk to. But I knew I needed help. And then I was just going. I saw a friend. I just said, "Oh, Taiwo, there's a program going on. It's a seminar. It's just about personal growth and personal development. Now, why don't you can just attend if you're free?" So I just said, "Okay." So I collected the invitation. I went. I just that day, that was the beginning of a mind shift for me. After the seminar, it was a personal growth seminar that just it was just like it was like a mastermind seminar that
Mm.
spoke on yourself, your mind, and what God's purpose for us. And after that program, it was a mind blowing program. That was the day.
Mm.
Nobody even I didn't have anybody
Mm.
lay hands on me or
Wow.
give me anything or maybe did deliverance for me. I knew that the deliverance was me. And after that program, that was the beginning of my true identity. That was the day I discovered
Wow.
who I
Wow.
was. And so that led me to going deep into what God's planned for us. So I got my Bible and I started to dissect that what was God's original plan. And so that seminar and God's word blended together, and that's what made me who I am today. And I'm so grateful to God that there
Wow.
was a shift in my life. Ever since that day till this moment, my life has never remained the same. Every day keeps
Praise
getting
God.
better. Every day
Mm.
keeps getting better. Every day I
Mm.
keep getting ideas, creativity. And so
Mm.
taking it back to us now, bringing it back to reality, bringing it back to our life. I wrote it that there was an original plan for man. There was an original plan. There was an original identity that God planned for women. And I'm using the word women there because we are. I mean, because this is a women platform. So
Yes.
the first thing, if we look at, I always like to read Genesis chapter 1 to chapter 3 because that was God's original plan. Genesis 1, Genesis 2, before the serpents came to deceive Adam and Eve, God's original plan before the enemy came was let us make man in our image. This was God speaking. He said, I want to make man in my image. I want man to be in my likeness. I want man to have dominion over everything, not dominion over men, not dominion over women, because now we've abused it, we've taken it away. People are now domineering people. You are not supposed to dominate people. You are to dominate in your purpose. You are to dominate in your identity. You are to dominate what God has called you to be. As God said, let them have dominion. Let them have dominion means to have power, to have authority over the earth. And God created man in his own image. That was God's original plan. God said, I want man to be like me. God knew that I couldn't have created animal to be like me. A dog is a dog. A cat is a cat. So a dog must bark like a dog. A cat must mew like a cat. And so because we are created like God, we must behave like God. So we are God. And that took me back to why when Jesus was telling the Pharisees, he said, don't you know that you are God? He said, don't you know you are God? He said, oh, I'm paraphrasing it now. He said, if you are not careful, you will die like mere men. Because Jesus was disgusted. He said, don't you know who you are? Don't you know what you carry? So why are you behaving like the people of the world? And this is what is going on right now. God has said, I've created you in my image. God created us in his image. And what is it? He said in his likeness. Likeness, sometimes we've misunderstood it, that maybe likeness is maybe the face. No, likeness is the trait. So if God is powerful, that means that we are powerful. If God is smart, that means that we are smart. If God is intelligent, that means that if God is successful, we are successful. If God could not fail, that means that we cannot fail. If God is high, if God is full of life, that means that we are full of life. So this is our authority. This is what we have. This is the image God has created us to be. And so this is our identity. And so when God told Adam that I'm creating you in my image, and God created Adam, breathed into Adam, and of course Eve also. When the serpent came to deceive Eve, I was wondering that didn't Eve read, or didn't she know who she was? Because if she knew who she was, when the serpent told her that if you eat this food, your eyes will be opened and you will see, you will be like God. Was she not God? Because God had already said, I've created you like me. You are me. Eve, you are me. Adam, you are me. We are the same. We are together. We are the same. The way I think, because Adam was so smart that the Bible said he named all the animals. All the animals you see today, Adam named them. He was so intelligent. He named the dog, lion, gave them names, named them one by one. And Eve too was so smart, but because they didn't understand their identity, they didn't understand who they are. So when the serpent came and told Eve that you will be like God, your eyes will be opened, and Eve said, really? It means that she didn't understand.
She didn't know.
And that is exactly what is happening today. Most people don't know who they are. And so they find themselves jumping into different properties, jumping, when they accept what people call them. They accept what the world calls them. And so taking us to the next step again, God now gave us the manual that, okay, now I've created you in my image, but you need a manual. You need something to guide you. And that manual was when he said, God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, have dominion over it, take charge, fill the earth. Whatever assignment God has given to you, that assignment is not for you. You have to now feel it. Go to the world. Thank God for social media now. Thank God for platforms like this. This is what we are doing right now. Whatever I'm speaking to you right now, I'm dominating in my area of specialty. I am subduing the earth. I am taking dominion, because right now I know people's minds are going to be shifted after tonight. And so I'm working in my area of dominion, in my area of influence. I'm dominating it. And so this is, but if I didn't know who I was, if I didn't discover or understood who I was, I would have been still, I would still be in that life, in that identity. I would have still been living that false identity, thinking I was not worthy enough, blaming my twin brother, blaming myself,
Yeah.
passing the blame to my dad or something, and I would have just been there. I will not be able to move forward. I'll be stuck. But I needed to understand myself. And so when I understood who I was, who God has created me to be, then I started to dominate my world. And so going back to the world right now, I realized that there was something that was missing. Like I said the other time, that the gap actually started. There's an enemy. Back in Genesis, the enemy was the serpent. The serpent came to deceive Adam, to deceive Eve. But today, our enemy right now is our five senses.
Yep.
The moment God breathed into the nostrils of man and man became a living being, the moment a child begins to grow, the moment a child begins to understand, how the child begins to see, a child begins to hear, a child begins to feel, that is the greatest enemy that can paint a false identity. And so there's so many battles today. We have so many battles of identity. The three major ones that every one of us we need to be conscious of daily. We have to keep reminding ourselves. We have to be conscious of it daily. One is our self-image, the way we see ourselves. This is very important. How do you see yourself? If I ask you the question, how do you see yourself? Or who are you? Most of us will say, I'm a teacher. You're not a teacher. I'm a doctor. You're not a doctor. That's
You're
only
not
your
a doctor.
profession. You're not a doctor. I'm a pastor. You're not a that is not who you are. That is only that's the assignment you are doing. That's the
Yep.
profession you are doing, but that is not who you are. Who are you? You are God's image. You are God's masterpiece.
Yeah.
You were created for a purpose. Who am I? I'm a transformational coach created with an assignment to help people discover who they are. I can't just say I'm a transformational coach and stop there. I can't stop there because that is just what I do. And so it's very
Yep.
important for us to see. So we need to see who we are. If we don't see who we are, we would allow people to see us and tell us who we are. And the second one is our self-esteem, our confidence. This has to do with our feelings, our emotions, our will. Emotions, are you easily temperamental? So if you don't understand your personality, which I'm going to talk about that in the process. I mean, along the line. If you don't understand your emotions, your will, these are your behavior, why you do what you do, you would always you would lose so many things because you can your temperament, your maybe you really get angry, you have low self-esteem. Those are the things that can affect you from your identity. And of course the self-worth. I always tell people that the moment you realize that you're not worthy enough, then you have started to lose your life. Because the highest of self of false identity is the moment you start thinking of committing suicide, then you have reached the peak. That means that you have reached your self-worth, your value has been diminished. So the moment you
Yep.
start to lose your value, you're not saying value, you're not saying anything about life. What's about life? That's then you have to quickly do something about it. And so these three major things are very important to us as human beings because they would always
Wow.
come. How you see yourself, your self-esteem, your confidence, your feelings. Your feelings will keep getting your emotions will keep telling. Maybe, for instance, you're supposed to. God has called you into an assignment. You already know who you are, and you are trying, but things don't just work out. You are not able to achieve that particular goal for that time, and you begin to see yourself as a failure. Not saying it that the failure is just an event. Like John Martin will say, you fail forward. Failure is
Yep.
an event. So these are
Yes.
the things that you need to really have to work on. It's a lot of renewing of the mindset. It
Mind.
takes you renewing your mindset before you truly know who you are. So it's a process. Actually, I think I need to say this, that it's actually a process.
It's a
For
process.
me, it was a process. And that's why I said my story that I started from when I was a teenager and it went down to when I was till I got married. And after I discovered who I was,
Mm.
it got better. It got and it's still getting better. So
Better.
those three major things are areas that we need to watch, to be very, it's like an indicator for us to be very mindful so that when the enemy comes, just like the serpent, we know that no, we are telling it that no, I know who I am. I know, no, you can't. No, I know who I know what I carry.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really wanted to share on the signs and of identity confusion because I realized again that sometimes many of us don't
Mm.
even know if we actually have these symptoms in our lives, or maybe we're actually going through false identity. So the moment if you are pessimistic about life, your outlook to life, you don't see anything worthy, you don't see anything good in life, nothing moves you, you're just passive. We have so many passive people that are just there,
People.
they sit at
Mm.
home doing nothing. They're
Nothing.
just they're the ones that you no matter how much you preach and counsel to them, they are just there. They are passive. That's one of it. That's are the symptoms of identity confusion. If you are disconnected from a sense of morality, nothing makes meaning to you. Integrity, you don't have no integrity. You have wrong behaviors, wrong beliefs. Those are you have started disconnecting from morality. And we also have some people who are so focused about their appearance, their performance, or their status. These are the type of people that their life depends on their job, and so you find them mostly at their job. Their job is like their identity. And so
Mm.
the moment maybe they get laid out of work, or maybe you're told to resign, or you or they or maybe even maybe they themselves
Mm.
resign, or you find out that immediately just if you just give them like 2 to 3 years, their life just goes down, or probably they're confused. They just get confused later on in life because their identity has been on their job, has been on their title, has been on their position.
Wow.
So that's a symptom that you are living a false life, an identity crisis, an identity confusion. We also have those who
Mm.
abuses alcohol and drugs, people that lack control of their emotions. If you're always getting angry easily, you have all temper, and you have people that said that might be proud of it, yes, that this is just who I am. This is me. I get angry. No, that's not who you are. That is not what God has created you to be.
And to
God
be.
is kind. God is peaceful. God always says, seek after peace, pursue peace. So you can't take that as your character. You can't take that as who you are. No. Or you find people that say, "Oh, I'm always moody," and especially in some women, most especially, our mood swings, moves here and there, and we just say, "Oh, that is because I'm a woman." No, that's not who God has created you to be. And we
Nope.
have those who are very critical and judgmental. They're always pulling people down because they know because they can't be like you. And because they can't be like you, they tend to pull you down. And so when you have a
Yep.
dream and you take it to them, they
Mm.
will share that dream. And so it's very mindful who you tell your dream. And we also have those who are isolated. Like I said, at that time, I was very isolated. I didn't want to have anything to do with anybody. I just wanted to be on my own. And we
Yeah.
also have those who exhibit extremism and negativity. And I just said here that
Wow.
there's some reason, there's a reason that some factors that actually causes this identity confusion. The first one is our family environment. Some of us were born into poverty-stricken home, and because we're born into that, our mindset has been shifted, and so we feel that nothing ever works, nothing is ever possible. Our dreams have
Mm.
been tattered because the poverty has covered the eyes from seeing
Mm.
big, from dreaming big, and so you just find them
Mm.
that they just live their life not even thinking outside the box. Some of us might have
Wow.
been parental influence. Our parents might have used wrong words on us, saying you are not good enough. You can't make it. In this part of our world, you can't make it. And in our family, women they don't become CEOs. Women don't
Mm.
own their businesses. Women don't excel. And so many it might be toxic relationship. Maybe you've probably been in an abusive relationship, or you have a husband that beats you, and you've lost your self-esteem, and you feel you are not just good enough. You just wake up in the morning, you take care of the kids, and you come back home and you are sad. Those are things that can cause identity confusion. It might be peer pressure from friends. It might be the culture. The culture, this is how we do it here. This is what we do in this part of the world. Women
Wow.
are not allowed
Wow.
to speak out. Women are not allowed. You have to stay behind the scene. Women are not to be in the front. Women are to be
Mm-hmm.
behind. And it might be the past memories. Some of us have gone through so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
It might be sexual abuse or rape or so many unlawful things that have happened in our lives. And we are bringing this past, these experiences, we are bringing it into the future. We are bringing our memories and putting it ahead of us instead of putting it
Wow.
behind us. And of course, our body. And so I said it here that we have to fight this battle. It's a battle that we have
Mm.
to fight. And the only way we can fight it is taking you to the third step. I'm going to start from the third step. Who do God say you are? Because
Yeah.
the first step says, if you believe what people say you are, if your
Mm.
belief is on people's opinion, you would never discover your identity. If your
Wow.
belief is on your self-perception, this means that sometimes your perception might not be right. Because if you have gone through so much past, so much pains in the past, maybe you've had maybe a lady that's had so many rapes and so many and
Mm.
maybe so many things. No matter how much she tries to affirm herself and to declare positive words, when those thoughts come again, when challenges come up, maybe she finds herself in something similar to that, she would go back again to where she was coming from. So the best way for us to fight this identity is to keep saying to ourselves, who do God say I am?
Say I am. Mm.
And this is who God says we are. God says we are a special possession. He says we are chosen. He said,
Mm-hmm.
I've chosen you. I have unpicked you. He says you are treasured. He says you are irreplaceable. He says you are loved. I love you beyond your fear, beyond what you might have committed abortion 10 times.
Mm.
I don't care. What matters right now is that you have a new life. He said, all things are passed away. If anyone is in Christ, he is a
Yep.
new creation. All things have passed away. He says, see,
Mm.
behold, all things are now new.
And name.
This is the
Mm.
life you're supposed to live. Let every day be
Hallelujah.
a new day for you. He says, I have chosen you. You are a chosen generation. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation. You are peculiar. He says, you are
Yes.
worth dying for. He said, while we are yet sinners, Christ died for us. We
Die
are
for
sinners
us.
when Christ died for us. So you are worth dying
Mm.
for. He says, you are
Mm-hmm.
forgiven. God has forgiven your
Wow.
past.
Wow.
Forget about the past. Let's move to the future. He said you are his masterpiece. When you have a masterpiece, for those of us, our parents those days, when they had a masterpiece, you dare not touch it. They were always
Mm-hmm.
placed
Mm-hmm.
in very safe places. You dare not break it because they will put it in a cabinet, and put it there and just watch it. And this is where God, this is what God says, you are my masterpiece. I have created you for good works.
Mm.
But it's unfortunate that
Wow.
most of us are not living these good works because we don't
Mm-hmm.
know we are. We don't know that we are masterpiece. We are separated. We are different from the people of the world. We are God's
Yes.
children. We are gods. We are gods in our area of influence. We are strong. We are mighty. We are powerful. We are dominating the world. We are there
Wow.
to
Wow.
shine
Wow.
our
Wow.
light. We are the light of the world. We are to shine. You are not the light of your house. You are not the light
Mm-mm.
of the building. You are not the light of the. You are not the light of the church. You are the light of the world.
Of the world.
He said to show forth the praises of God who has called us out of darkness. He
Darkness
took us from
into.
darkness into his marvelous light. So there is a purpose. God took us. He
Yes.
said, you are a city set on a hill. He put us on a city. By a city. And I said he put us on a hill. Why? So that we can see, so that people can see us. So we are there to share. That is who we are. You are a city set on a hill. He says, arise and shine, for your light has
It's
come.
come.
Your
Mm.
light is come. He said, don't be scared. Your light has come.
Wow.
So like I said the other time, that what are the stages to this self-discovery? The first one is, who are you? And I think that's what I've shared. And the second one is, what can you do to become you? In the process of identity, what can you do? When I discovered who I was, I needed to now begin to unleash my potential, to know what can I do? What can I do? I started discovering my gifts. Wow. So I said, oh, I could teach. Right now, for me, the reason why I like to use PowerPoint presentation because I'm a teacher. So I like to teach.
Mm-hmm.
This is my gift. So I cannot, you might not really find me singing because that's not my
Mm-hmm.
potential. My potential is in the area of speaking, area of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed to unlock my potential. I needed to find my giftings. I needed to find who I was, what I can do, who God has
Wow.
created me to be. I needed to know why I was born because my service is I'm rendering my service to God and to man. And so these are the three stages of self-discovery. Who are you? What can you do
Can
to
you do?
become you? And what were you born to do? If you can get these three stages of self discovery, you would live your life to the fullest. Nothing would move you anymore because you've passed through the stage of identity. So if someone comes to meet you and says, this is what is going on now, you won't be bothered anymore. If they're saying, oh, right now everybody is going into this particular thing, you stay in your purpose because you already know who you are
Mm-hmm.
and your potential. You know what you can. You are in your area of giftings. You are not copying your friend's giftings. You are not looking at another person's gift, but you are in your area of giftings and your purpose. You are using your gift, your potential to serve God and to serve the world because you are the light of the world and not the light of your friend or the church or the enclosed place. And so I'm rounding up right now because I know I'm running out of time. Rounding up now to the steps to self-discovery. I'll just quickly run through. The first one I said we have to renew our mind. The second one, discover your gift. The third one, and I think I mentioned this in my while I was speaking, find out your Dick's personality test. Who are you? Are
Mm-hmm.
you a dominant? This means are you a choleric? Your temperament.
Yeah.
Are you an influencer? This means are you a sanguine? Are you your stability is melancholy and consciousness is phlegmatic. So if you know your area, your behavioral temperament, your temperament, you are able to you are you can you're able to I mean you know your nature, your trait, and you are able to nurture it. So if I am in melancholy right now, so because I know that I'm in melancholy and I have to speak, I have to teach, so I have to nurture my gift. I have to nurture that behavior of melancholy
Mm-hmm.
people. Sometimes we can be passive. Sometimes we can be laid back. So I know that because I need to excel in my area of purpose, I need to nurture some of those areas. And this takes me to the fourth one, which is our SWOT analysis. You need to know your strengths, you need to know your weaknesses. You need to know your opportunity. What are the opportunities? What can you do? You need to know the threats. What threats? Your threats are the things that you need to do now. If let's take for instance, I need to understand. I need to okay. Let's say I need to preach. I'm just giving an example. This means that I need to go. I'm just giving an example now. The threat is that if I don't quickly grow in the things of God, study my Bible, learn principles of the Bible, I would not grow in that area, and that might be a threat to me in the future. It might be a threat to my purpose. And the fifth
Mm-hmm.
one, your competence. What can you do? Are you good? You can't be passive. You have to keep growing. You have to keep
Yep.
increasing your ability. You have to keep increasing in your knowledge. So do you have to go back to school? Some of us have to go back to school to learn one
Yep.
or two things. Some of us have to change our attitude. If you know that some of your attitudes are not helping you, you have to change it. Some of us have to change our behaviors, our capability, our capacity to do things. We need to increase it. The fifth one is our values. Our values is very key. What are your values? If I ask you today, what are your values? Can you mention your values? Are you honest? Are you excellent in whatever you do? Are you trusting? Can people trust you? And so you must be able to write your values down. Your personal growth, you must develop your personal growth daily. Keep growing. You must discover your purpose. You must unlock your potential. These are the things I've spoken about. You must be the
Mm.
best version of you. You
Of
must have a
you. Mm.
dream. You must dream about the future. You must have a vision. Where will you be? If I ask you, where will you be 10 years from now? Or where will you be 30 years from now, can you have a dream of it? Do you have a picture of it? Do you have a vision statement? Do you have your own personal vision statement? For me, I always say that in the next between in another 5 years time, I want to be so good in my area of specialty, whereby when they're calling the names of strong African women, my name should be mentioned. So and what am I doing? Helping the world, helping women out there. So those are my dreams, and I'm working towards it. If you don't have a dream, if you don't have a vision, you are going nowhere. I'm rounding up with this by saying most people search high and wide for the keys to success. If they only knew that the key to their dreams and their life goals lies within their
them.
identity. And with this, I want to say thank you very
Wow.
much for this opportunity. One more, thank you very much, Ma. I'm so grateful to you for this time to share my thoughts to women of purpose. God bless you, Ma.
Wow. This is you've shared a lot. Wow. I don't even know where to start, but I want to say, first of all, thank you so much. If you're online, please, could you hear me say a big thank you to Mrs. Taiwo Awokoya? Thank you so much. This has been priceless. As you were speaking, I was just thinking, this is priceless. And I'm so glad that there's a replay here. There's a replay on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I normally stream it there as well, because this is something that even we need to look at and watch again and watch again. Even when you know your identity, sometimes there's some things that still threaten. Do you really know? So as you were speaking out, sometimes we think, okay, you believe you know, but there's something that you think, do I really understand it? Do I need to go back to God? Do I need to go back to the drawing board? So we just want to say thank you. People are saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have shared priceless information with us today. And you shared so many things. But the biggest, I think the first one that you shared that really spoke to me was that if you don't discover who God says you are, people are going to call you what you are not. That's what you were insinuating.
Yes, ma'am.
And there were so many things I can't even start to pinpoint. But it's like, wow. I just want to say thank you, and I just pray that the Lord will bless you. The seed that you have sown into our lives, may God also bring you helpers of destiny that will sow those same seeds into your life, into your vision. And this is only the beginning, because you see how the enemy tries to steal from us. Imagine you had all that within you, and the enemy made you believe that you had a false sense of identity.
Yes, ma'am.
I know yesterday, I think I was sharing something that really our purpose starts in God, with God, because truly He has the fullness of everything. And then when you went to that seminar, you went back to Him, He began to unravel.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
he's still unraveling, because I think till Jesus comes, He's going to keep unraveling to us the things He has. But imagine how the enemy steals from us.
Yes.
So we need to know who God has said we are. We are masterpieces. I love that thing that says, who does God say I am? We need to daily affirm ourselves. When the enemy comes to us and we say, no, this is who I am. Wow, thank you so much. Before we let you go, I just want to ask, where can people find you? I know your Instagram handle is at Taiwo Awokoya. Am I right with that?
Yes, Taiwo.Awokoya. Yes.
Oh, it's dot. Oh, let me fix that. So Taiwo.Awokoya. So so that at least people know where to. And where else can we find you?
Facebook too. Facebook, Taiwo Awokoya.
Okay, so on Facebook, people can go Taiwo Awokoya. And then on Instagram is Taiwo.Awokoya. So at least people know to find you. Because we want to make sure that we are able to connect with you after today. Not just we want to connect with you. So Instagram is Taiwo.Awokoya. On Facebook is Taiwo Awokoya. So please, let's go connect with her. And because a lot of people watch the replays as well. So I know it's not just people that are on now, but the replay keeps going. And like we always say, what is on the internet, people can always feed on it continually. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are most grateful. We are so grateful. We are grateful. We're gonna okay. Thank you. So thank you everyone for today. We are so grateful to God. This has been a wonderful session. You can watch the replay, you can share with others, and as you do, I just pray that God will continue to increase us. Here we strengthen one another, we encourage one another, and we bring people that are going to strengthen and encourage us. So enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast.
Thank you.